We're gonna pop knee on belly today. All right, so past couple weeks we've been working on side control. Attacks, defense, a variety of options as far as where to be, what to do, and how to be there in side control. This week we're gonna start transitioning out of side control into a few knee on belly series, defending knee on belly series, and then from there we're gonna go to mounts, okay? So first thing we're gonna review is just pop-ups and transitions on knee on belly. Then we're gonna go into a few of my favorite attacks, and I'm gonna choke Austin real smooth tonight because I'm a good friend like that. So I'm here, I'm in side control. Top side hand is underneath his head. My knee is next to that ear or top of his head. My toes are active. My bottom hand controls this underhook. I don't care if you're, real heavy pressure here or if you're looking to play, but you cannot give up the bottom hand underhook here. So when I decide that I'm going to go knee on belly, it has to be a pretty quick decision and it has to be pretty decisive. This isn't one where you can kind of lackadaisically go from position to position. So when I get here, all I'm going to do is my hand that is underneath, I'm going to shift to the near side shoulder here. So my hand goes from underneath his head to just capping his shoulder here on the close side. My hand that is keeping the underhook is going to transition to the hip. Now I'm going to push up and pop my knee across his stomach. Now, generally you stay like this. Austin's going to plant his feet in the ground and bring his legs up so that I can sit back into him and talk and not crush him the entire time I'm sitting here. So, a couple of key details when you're in the knee on belly. One, your outside leg, I want it level with his shoulders. And I want it based at that solid 90 in an athletic position here. I'm not trying to sprawl it way out. I'm not trying to have it way next to his head. Out, a little wider than hip width, at a good 90 here. My hands, if you're pajamas and you're civilized, you can set a hip grip and a collar grip. If you're uncivilized and you don't wear pajamas and choke people, hand on top of the shoulder, hand on top of the hip here. Now, knee positioning. I can have my knee straight 90, straight 12 o'clock. I don't care which one you pick. It's all dependent on how much control and how much compliance you want. So, if I'm looking just to score and control Austin, I'm going to keep it right across him like a seatbelt. If I want Austin to move and I want a little bit of pain compliance, I'm going to put it right in the center of his chest and put all my, 185 pounds of it into him right now. Yes, I'm losing weight.
Feels like a piece of paper. It's fine.
Yeah. Now, your inside foot you want to have tucked tight up to his hip, so that way they can't go scooping and looking for leg locks. So you're sliding that knee all the way across, tucking that foot actively here, keeping a good solid base here. Now, when you're doing this right, it should make it hard for Austin to move, not impossible, right? If Austin goes to start shrimping and moving things, it's kind of like surfing. I'm just keeping my weight on top of him and moving with him. So I'm here with Austin, working, boom, I get my hands into position, pop, I'm in position here. Now, for point jiu-jitsu, that is generally 2 points. They're gonna go 1, 2, 3, you're gonna score your points. Now, depending on tournament, you can transition to the far side and score again. So we're gonna do this all as one drill. Now, when I'm here, my hand that is on the hip is gonna transition to his shoulder. My knees, I'm gonna put my other knee right on his chest here. I'm going to lift my heels to my butt, windshield wiper them across, boom, sit to the other side. The big detail there is the heels to your butt. Most people just try to transition side to side and they don't pull those heels up and they get their feet trapped. So when I'm here, I drive that knee across and I pick those heels up, and that's what allows me to transition side to side. All right? Now, for this as a drill, what I want you guys to do is start on one side. We're here. Boom. I pop up. Move for a second, get to that 3 count, knees over, hands, bop, here, settle, down, and then go back to the other side. So you practice popping up and transitioning both sides, then you switch top bottom. That motion and the ability to pop up is the big thing we need to grab today. All right, that's why we're going to spend quite a bit of time on this section of it. Questions on this?
I have a question. You know how when you say you can go sideways or right on the slower places, when you're windshield wipering, whatever,
Yeah.
when you're going, are you going from seatbelt to that so that it's more painful for them so that when you go to the other side?
No, I'm staying pretty much 45s.
Okay.
So I very rarely go to that straight knee through their chest. The only time I'm doing that to someone is you had to have made me mad. Like, this is a compliance. This is, you know, we talk about that extra bit of fuck you that sometimes you have in a move. That is that. If I'm adding that to it, you've messed up on the day. Generally, I'm going to keep it at a pretty solid 45 in line with your shoulder, which gives me the mobility I want, but also a little bit of that pain. It's uncomfortable. If I'm sitting here, Austin's not comfortable, but he's not uncomfortable, right? The goal here is just that mild discomfort.
Yes.
I don't want him to grimace and be like, ah, and freak out and bust away, but I want him uncomfortable. I want to put him on that back foot on the defensive there. Now, wee bit of pain does that. That kind of, we talk about it in MMA more, but that flinch reaction, that's what I'm looking for, is having that little bit of a flinch, because that's going to make him make a mistake somewhere, is that little bit of pain. Does that make sense? Other questions on this? So, as a drill, pop up, transition, pop down, pop up, transition, pop down, switch. 1, 2, 3. So, we get here, we're in side control, right? Boom, I pop up, I get to the knee on belly. Now, there's a couple obvious transitions that I'm just going to leave to you. Sliding your knee across and coming to mount's pretty intuitive. I don't know that we need to drill that a ton. So we're going to work two of my favorite attacks from here. The armbar and the baseball bat choke. So I'm here, I'm working. Now, for a lot of people, they're very naturally going to try to defend with this inside hand. A couple of the common points that they're going to put their hands on. 1, your chest. 2, your outside knee. I don't care which one they go to, we have to establish hand control. Now for me, I play pajama free a lot, so all I'm going to look to do is find the back of that elbow here. All right? Or if I like, I can get to the wrist here. Now, all I'm going to look to do is slide my knee straight up and across his chest here. As I do that, I'm going to isolate this arm to my chest and attach it to me. Once I'm here, I'm going to step this leg over. I'm going to fall back slowly because I like my friends here. And I'm going to fall towards his legs, extend his arm, raise my hips. How it looks, I'm here, boom, I'm working, I'm trying to do stuff, bop. See how Austin very naturally turns into me, starts to use his hands. Great. Sometimes you have to elicit that reaction. So to do that sometimes, that's where that pain comes in. He's going to very naturally try to move that knee if I get a little bit of pain in him. Boom. I isolate, step over, and when I'm here, I'm scooping that head with my heel. Turning that neck as much as I can. Pinching my knees, falling on top of his legs to control them. Once I'm here, I'm going to lean back slowly, raise my hips, and make Austin say nice things about me, because I haven't compromised. Questions on this? I'm going to walk through it a few more times.
Yeah. What's the point of controlling the legs? Once you fall in for that arm bar, why do you need to control the legs?
So, think about it this way. Whenever I'm in a traditional mounted arm bar, right, we end up here. With this one, if Austin tries to hitchhiker away, which is the common armbar escape from here, right? He's going to turn that thumb down, start walking his feet away. I have this leg to bite and try to control that body. This gives me that body control. If I'm here, I have none of that and he's already halfway out. So when I fall back, the reason I fall here, 1, it makes the hitchhiker longer, which helps me. But 2, if he starts to hitchhiker, I can get a hold of that. I can get some sort of weave into stop running away from me. Because let's say I miss the armbar. Let's say I can't even finish this. still allows me to maintain my positioning and come out. Where if I'm here and I fall at the 90 or even a little towards his head, all Austin has to do basically is turn his thumb and this armbar's gone. Like I'm not getting this at this point. I don't care how big of a bully I am. This is going to be hard to get. So I fall towards the leg. 1, makes it longer. 2, makes it easier to counter the initial reaction escape that most people are going to have is either connect their hands and then try to walk their feet away from me to loosen that armbar. So when I get here, boom, I can hit that scoop, I can hit that weave, I can scoop top leg. That's going to give me time to work that break and go from there. That's why falling towards the legs makes sense, because when you have shin and armbar, it has to be a lot tighter and a lot faster than a traditional armbar. Where if I'm here, I have control and I have just the arm scoop, right? Austin goes to work, I have time, I have control though. So the less control you have, the tighter and faster it has to be. Does that make sense?
First thing you do when you get here, take off front.
So you're keeping the top of your foot kind of underneath
No more than no less than 4 laps. You
Yeah.
extend down to leave 5 laps.
Can you show me how to scoop that in there? Because a lot of times I'll try to do that, and I feel like I'll be caught kind of on the fabric of the gi.
Yeah. So biggest thing is when I'm here, and what he's asking is when I slide that foot up, I'm using my foot to scoop the back of his shoulder, the top of his shoulder. So I slide this up and I'm really tightening this in here. Biggest way to do that is on this pole. I'm pulling his arm up, which then gives that the room to slide. That just naturally should slide in. If it's not, focus on your arm pull more. That's where you're missing it. So that you guys on this side can see, boom, I'm here. What he's talking about is when I get here, this foot, I'm actively scooping the back of his shoulder. So I have to focus on getting that arm up here. Now, if you're doing this proper, he's already in a lot of trouble before my back gets down. So make sure you fall slow, controlled, and then pinch the knees. Yes.
If this happens, if you feel someone pulling your arm, what's your next move when you feel that they're coming?
If I feel my arm coming up, I'm trying to get to that hip and shoulder.
You're
So,
going belly down.
if Austin starts to feel this arm comes up, he needs to very quickly and very aggressively get this shoulder to the mat. So the second he starts to feel this come up, he needs to start going pace.
I need a phone call.
Does that make sense?
Reach out to me. Let me know.
Defensively, that would be the focus. Chad?
Can I see your fallback? I just want to look at the detail on it.
So when I'm here, biggest thing is, boom, I get here, I get Austin to bring that wrist up, I isolate, boom, here, I step over, and I'm falling as close to hip as I can get.
So you really cover almost, I mean, like it seems like you automatically cover both legs most times.
Yeah, because my hand's already there. Think about it this way. When we're here, this hand is already on the hip. It's not moving.
Yeah, because I've been trying to grab leg and I miss it or I go outside leg and it slips. That way you've got elbow already clamped in and your elbow's tight.
If nothing else, I already have a hip grip,
Okay.
which is going to make that, even if I don't collapse the elbow and can't control both legs from there, I still have a hip grip, which is going to be some sort of control. It may not be everything, but it is some control there. And that's what you want. Control that hip, because you're trying to control his hips from getting away from you. So if my hands are already on the hip, think about it from this side. So if I'm here, this hand doesn't move at any point. Bop, bop, bop. I'm just using it to scoop that here. But even if I don't get that and I just have this grip, right? Austin goes to walk his feet away from me. May not be a great grip, but it's something enough to slow him down to isolate and focus on that extension.
Then what are you doing in no-gi since you have no grabs?
Boom, just hip scoop. Because I'm just here. I'm hip gripping here. So same concept. Back here. Just kind of keeping that hip, hip pocket grip that we work all the time. That same concept. Other question, guys. All good questions, right? 1, 2, 3. So, let's say I'm here and I'm working with Austin because we're good friends, right? And I get here, and this is a pajamas only move, so if you don't have pajamas, sucks to suck. You get to keep practicing your armbar. But those people in pajamas get to go with each other. So I'm here. My hand, instead of being on the shoulder, I'm just gonna slip my thumb right into where it's right behind his neck, almost like I'm trying to grab the tag on a t-shirt. Now, when I'm here, my other hand's gonna sneak palm in, grabbing as close to that other hand as I can. Now, all we're gonna look to do is slide this knee as far to this side as I can. Because I'm gonna baseball slide, and as I do, I'm gonna drop my wrist through here, walking my hips away, and very aggressively choking, because I like to. So I'm here, boom, I get that grip in. Now for me, what I'm gonna look for is I'm gonna look to rock back and forth, and I'm gonna be trying to hand fight here, trying to confuse him on what's happening. As that happens, I'm gonna get my grip. Sliding that knee over his arm, dropping my elbow here, and I'm trying to put him on my shoulder while I slide away.
Are you grabbing the tag?
Yeah, that tag grip, yeah. Because my goal is to connect my hands like I'm grabbing a baseball bat, and then to put that bat on my shoulder. So when I get here, I'm gonna set my hands real wide here so that Austin can breathe while I instruct on this so he doesn't die. I do like Austin most days. So boom, I get here. As soon as I get here, I'm going to drop that shoulder in, walk my hips away, and connect him up. Now, if you do this right, they should be tapping right about here. Now, look how far apart my grips are. Jordan, are they pretty far? Yeah. Guess what? I can still finish it. The closer your hands are, the better it is, and the quicker it is. So you want to connect those hands as tight as you can, so that way it's quicker and more efficient.
Do you mainly, is the reason why you're so particular with dropping your shoulder onto them is so they don't get hurt and loosen it?
Yes. Because if I'm here, what a lot of people will do if they start to realize what's happening here is a lot of people will start trying to bring their feet into the game to attack things, and that just makes this wildly more difficult, so you end up having to abandon. So when my hands connect, that's where the sense of urgency comes in, and I turn as soon as that hand connects. So if I'm here, boom, I'm messing around, good things are happening, bah. It's that violent and that quick of a choke if you do it proper.
Austin's position, is there a defense, like when you start to go for it, in that motion when you realize
They have to find your hands very quickly.
oh, that's the only defense.
So you have to find the hands and separate the elbows. Oh. No. Now, are there options? Yes. Are they effective? No. So if you're pajama free, continue working on your arm bar. If you have pajamas, work on the choke. 1, 2, 3.